Okay, so this is the second video for chapter number 11 3D geometry for class 12th. In the last video हमने सारे फॉर्मुलेज और एनसीईआरटी के क्वेश्चंस कर लिए थे. कुछ मिसलिनियस के क्वेश्चंस हैं और कुछ एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चंस हैं प्रीवियस ईयर वगैरह के जो हम लोग इस बार डिस्कस करेंगे. The first question is find the vector equation of the line passing through the point 1, 2, -4 and perpendicular to these lines. I have two lines over here. If I consider my first line, so for line 1, the b1 vector would be equal to 3 I cap minus 16 j cap plus 7 k cap. And for line 2, the b2 vector, that is equal to 3 I cap plus 8 j cap minus 5 k cap. Now if I consider these vectors over here, I consider this is my b1 vector, this is my b1 vector, and this is my b2 vector. So the vector which is perpendicular to both these vectors, that is b1 cross b2. b1 vector will be perpendicular to b1 vector as well as b2 vector. Also it is saying we need to find the line which is perpendicular to these lines. So the line I am asking for, this is the red line that is required, which is passing through 1, 2, -4. This is my required line which is passing through this point. अब इस लाइन के लिए इक्वेशन ऑफ लाइन निकलती है बाय हैविंग अ पॉइंट एंड अ पैरेलल वेक्टर. सो ये जो रेड लाइन है, जो रिक्वायर्ड लाइन है मेरी, फॉर माय रिक्वायर्ड लाइन, द रेड वन, आई कैन से दैट दिस इज माय रिक्वायर्ड लाइन. ओके, सो आई कैन से इस पर्टिकुलर लाइन के लिए जो मेरे पास ए वेक्टर है, ए वेक्टर वो वेक्टर होता है जिस पॉइंट से लाइन पास हो रही है, दैट इज आई कैप plus 2j cap minus 4k cap. And if you look at it clearly, so the b vector for this required line is b1 cross b2. ये जो b1 cross b2 है, ये दोनों के परपेंडिकुलर है. ये जो लाइन हमें निकालनी है, ये भी इन दोनों के परपेंडिकुलर है. तो जो इसके भी इन दोनों के परपेंडिकुलर ये भी है, इन दोनों के परपेंडिकुलर ये भी है, तो ये दोनों क्या हो गए एक दूसरे से पैरेलल. तो b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर इज पैरेलल टू माय रिक्वायर्ड लाइन. तो इस रिक्वायर्ड लाइन के लिए अगर मेरे को बी वेक्टर निकालना है, सो माय बी वेक्टर वुड बी इक्वल टू b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर, b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर. This with my required vector. Now if I need to find this b1 vector cross b2 vector, I can just make my arrangements over here. Now cross product I j cap k cap, b1 vector, my b1 vector would be 3, then it is minus 16, then it is 7, then it is 3, 8 and minus 5. So the b vector would be equal to 16 5 is 80, 24 I cap, then minus 21 minus 15, that is plus 36 j cap, and minus 8 3 is 24 plus 48, that is 72 k cap. In fact what I can write it over here as, अगर मैं 12 को कॉमन ले लेता हूँ यहाँ से, तो आई एम लेफ्ट विद 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 6 k cap. So this is my b vector. Now the required equation of the line is r vector is equal to a vector plus lambda b vector. R vector is equal to a vector plus lambda b vector. A vector plus lambda b vector. If I put the required values over here, I can say that is equal to I cap plus 2j cap minus 4k cap plus lambda. Now 12 is the scalar value. It could be considered under lambda as well. So I can only write over here as 2 I cap plus 3 j cap plus 6 k cap. फिर से बता रहा हूं, जो b1 क्रॉस b2 का जो 12 था वो इसी लैम्डा में इंक्लूड हो जाएगा क्योंकि स्केलर वैल्यू है. तो जो मेजर डायरेक्शन रेशियोज आएंगे वो क्या है 2 3 6. और अगर मेरे को कार्टेशियन फॉर्म में देना है, अगर मेरे को सेम आंसर आई नीड टू गिव इन द कार्टेशियन फॉर्म. दिस अबव वाज माय वेक्टर फॉर्म. ओके, सो दिस वाज माय वेक्टर फॉर्म। अगर मेरे को कार्टेशियन फॉर्म में इसका आंसर देना है तो कार्टेशियन फॉर्म में आई कैन राइट x माइनस वन इज इक्वल टू y माइनस टू इज इक्वल टू z प्लस फोर अपॉन में टू अपॉन में थ्री and upon में 6. So this is my required answer in the Cartesian form for my required red line. Okay, so moving on to the next question. A line passes through 2 minus 1 3 and perpendicular to these lines. Obtain its equation in the vector and the Cartesian form. It's exactly same question. Exactly same question. So first of all, I need to find b1 vector. b1 vector has been given as 2i cap minus 2j cap plus k cap जो लेमडा के साथ है। फिर b2 वेक्टर इज गिवन एज आई कैप प्लस 2j कैप प्लस 2k कैप। एग्जैक्टली सेम क्वेश्चन है। वंस अगेन फॉर माय रिक्वायर्ड लाइन, ये जो लाइन है ये एक पॉइंट से पास हो रही है। जो ये पॉइंट से पास हो रही है, ये पॉइंट हमें क्या देगा? दिस पॉइंट इज माय ए वेक्टर, दिस पॉइंट इज माय ए वेक्टर। ए वेक्टर किस पॉइंट से पास हो रही है? 2i कैप माइनस 1j कैप प्लस 3k कैप। सो दैट इज 2i कैप minus j cap plus 3k cap. And for this required line, the b vector would be equal to, once again, because the same line is perpendicular to both these lines, so b vector would be equal to b1 cross b2, because b1 cross b2 will also be perpendicular to both these lines, and hence it will be parallel to the required line. Now once again b1 cross b2 जैसे हमने पहले निकाला था, बिल्कुल same format से, by determinant method we will need to find the same question. क्या हो जाएगा? आई कैप j cap k cap. The details I have over here is 2 minus 1 sorry 2 minus 2 2 minus 2 and 1 for the b1 vector, और b2 vector के लिए क्या दी हुई है? 1 2 2. So if I check it over here, that is minus 4 minus 2 minus का 6 I cap, then it is 2 to the 4 minus 1 minus 3 j cap, and then it would be 4 plus 2, that is plus का 6 k cap. यहाँ से भी अगर मैं माइनस 3 को कॉमन ले लेता हूँ तो यहाँ पर मेरे पास बचेगा 2i कैप प्लस j कैप minus 2k cap. So this is my b vector, the required b vector. Now the required equation is r vector in vector form. It is given as r vector is equal to a vector plus lambda b vector. We just need to put in the values over here for our a vector and the b vector. So my r vector would be equal to a vector. A vector is being given as 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap. Direction ratios for b vector, the minus 3 would be included in lambda only. So I can say lambda 2i plus ka j minus 2k. So in Cartesian form, if I need to write this in the Cartesian form, so Cartesian form में जो line की equation होती है वो होती है x minus x1, y minus y1 और z minus z1. We have done this in earlier questions as well. नीचे b vector के coordinates a, b और c. So for this question I will have over here is x minus 2, then y minus minus 1, so that would be y plus 1, and it would be z minus 3. In denominator I can have 2, then I can have 1, and then we can have minus 2. So these are both my equations in the vector as well as the Cartesian form. Moving on to the next question. Now they are saying if the shortest distance between the lines is unity, then find the value of lambda. Shortest distance between the lines is unities. First of all, I need to find the lines. I need to find the vectors. So For line 1, A1 vector and B1 vector. For line 1, I can write them over here. Then for line 2, I will be writing A2 vector and B2 vector. कार्टेशियन फॉर्मेट में दिया हुआ है हमको, पहले इसको रेगुलर बना लेते हैं. ये हो जाएगा 1 i कैप, और y और z कुछ भी नहीं है तो ये यही रहेगा. b1 वेक्टर की बात करें तो दैट वुड बी i कैप माइनस j कैप प्लस 2k कैप. a2 वेक्टर के लिए ये हो जाएगा माइनस i कैप, y के लिए कुछ भी नहीं है, प्लस 3k कैप, प्लस 3k कैप. देन इट वुड बी b2 वेक्टर के लिए ये हो जाएगा 2i कैप प्लस 2j कैप plus lambda k cap. I need to find the value of lambda. I have been given as the shortest distance. Shortest distance is unity. Unity matlab 1. So the shortest distance has been given as 1. I have the a1 vector, b1 vector, a2 vector and b2 vector, and I need to find the value of lambda. So if you remember the shortest distance, the formula for shortest distance was a2 vector minus a1 vector. a2 vector minus a1 vector into dot b1 vector cross b2 vector. b1 vector cross b2 vector. So this was my formula. अपॉन में b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड, और ये सारा डिटरमिनेंट मतलब मॉडुलस में लगा सकते हैं, बिकॉज डिस्टेंस कैन नेवर बी नेगेटिव. सो अपॉन में क्या आ जाएगा, b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड, b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर का मैग्नीट्यूड. अब इस रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से अगर मैं अपनी वैल्यूज कैलकुलेट करूं तो सबसे पहले मेरे को चाहिए a2 वेक्टर माइनस a1 वेक्टर. a2 वेक्टर माइनस a1 वेक्टर दैट वुड बी गिवन एज a2 वेक्टर माइनस -1 माइनस i, दैट इज माइनस 2i कैप प्लस 3k कैप, माइनस 2i कैप प्लस 3k कैप. देन नेक्स्ट इज b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर. b1 वेक्टर क्रॉस b2 वेक्टर. I'm just trying to fulfill my requirements for shortest distance. So the details I have is I cap, J cap. क्रॉस हमेशा डिटरमिनेंट मेथड से निकलेगा. b1 वेक्टर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स अगर मेरे को लिखने हैं तो दैट इज 1 -1 2. b2 वेक्टर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स है मेरे पास 2 2 एंड लैम्डा, 2 2 एंड लैम्डा. सो दैट वुड बी इक्वल टू minus lambda minus 4, minus lambda minus 4 I cap. Then I have lambda minus 4, that would be minus of lambda minus 4 j cap plus 2 ones are 2 minus minus 2 4 k cap. And the last thing, I need to find the magnitude for this. So b1 cross b2 as per my magnitude would be equal to minus lambda minus 4 का square, minus lambda minus 4 का square plus lambda minus 4 का square plus 4 का square plus 4 का square in under root. So this would be equal to lambda square minus 8 lambda plus का 16 plus lambda square. This will be plus lambda minus 8 lambda plus का 16 and plus का 16. Once again everything in under root. So the detail I have over here is 8 lambda से 8 lambda कट जाएगा. So I have 2 lambda square plus 16 3s are 48. 16 3s are 48. That's my required line over here, or that's my required b1 cross b2. Okay, so that is my values I have over here. Now I need to put these values over here. So I can say, I can just write over here for shortest distance, the value of shortest distance has been provided. Just let me make a clear gap over here. Okay. So, okay. So the shortest distance was given as 1. Then I can say over here minus 2 I cap plus 3 k cap has to go with the dot product with minus lambda minus 4 I cap minus lambda minus 4 I cap plus or minus lambda minus 4 j cap plus 4 k cap. एंड अपॉन में मेरे पास रहेगा अपॉन में हमारे पास रहेगा 2 लैम्डा स्क्वायर प्लस 48 along. This is all in determinant method. This is all in determinant or modulus, you can say. So I can just write it over here. 1 is equal to I वाला I से multiply करूंगा तो minus 2 into minus lambda, that would be equal to 2 lambda plus 8. Then j वाला j से करने के लिए कुछ है ही नहीं हमारे पास, और प्लस आ जाएगा यहाँ पर 12 अपॉन में एज इट इज जो वैल्यूज है हमारे पास ऑलरेडी हैं, the values we already have over here. And once again in modulus, everything should be in modulus. So I can say over here this was 12. Okay, so I can say 2 lambda square plus 48, 2 lambda square plus 48. We can take it to the next page, I believe, because it's really getting congested over here. So just take it over here. Okay, so what can we write is 1 was equal to, if you take have a look at the old page, it was 2 lambda 8 plus 12, so it was 2 lambda plus 20. It was 2 lambda plus 20, and upon it has 2 lambda square plus 48, 2 lambda square plus 48. Okay, so I have the two cases. Once I will open it with the plus sign, then once again we will do it with the negative sign. Let's do it with the plus sign. So we will go with the cross multiply. So it would be 2 lambda square plus 48 is equal to 2 lambda plus 20, and I can keep it in the square. Then we will squaring both sides. So it would be 2 lambda square plus 48, and here it would be 4 lambda square plus 20 into 2, 40 into 2, 80 lambda plus 400. So what I can see use over here is 0 is equal to 2 lambda square plus 80 lambda plus 450, 352. 352. If I divide the equation by 2, I can say lambda square plus 40 lambda plus 176. I believe that's the correct thing. यहाँ से बेटा इस क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन को आप सॉल्व करके लैम्डा की वैल्यू निकाल लेंगे एंड यू विल फाइंड द आंसर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन. दो तरह के दो क्वेश्चंस करेंगे सेम पैटर्न पे, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस है. कह रहा फाइंड द इमेज ऑफ द पॉइंट 2, -1, 5 इन द लाइन दिस. Also find the length of perpendicular from the point to the line. Now consider I have a line over here and this is my line. This is x minus 11 upon my 10 is equal to y plus 2 upon minus 4 is equal to z plus 8 upon minus 11. I need to find the image of this point P. Consider this point as 2, comma minus 1 comma 5. This is the point I need to find, and consider this is the image q. This is the image q. We can take the coordinates at alpha, beta and gamma. If pq, p is giving an image as q among on this line, then this would be a point m, and this m would be the midpoint. M is midpoint of pq. M is midpoint of pq. We will consider this statement later on. Just need to keep it in mind that m is the midpoint of pq. Now also m lies on this line. M lies on this line. If I say m lies on my line, m lies on line, so m के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे, इफ आई कंसीडर कि ये सारी वैल्यूज लेमडा के बराबर है, किसके बराबर है? लेमडा के. सो आई कैन से कि m के जो कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे वो x की वैल्यू कितनी हो जाएगी? 10 लेमडा प्लस 11. सिमिलरली y के कोऑर्डिनेट्स हो जाएंगे -4 लेमडा -2, और z के हो जाएगा -11 लेमडा -8. सो आपका जो m पॉइंट आ रहा है, बेसिकली दिस m पॉइंट, इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या है हमारे पास? 10 लेमडा प्लस 11 -4 लेमडा -2 एंड -11 लेमडा -8. ये है m के कोऑर्डिनेट्स. अगर ये m के कोऑर्डिनेट्स हैं तो pm के, अगर मेरे को डायरेक्शन रेशियोज चाहिए, डायरेक्शन रेशियो ऑफ pm, डायरेक्शन रेशियो ऑफ पीएम वेक्टर, जो पीएम वेक्टर है उसके मेरे डायरेक्शन रेशियोज क्या हो जाएंगे? पीएम, पी है 10 लेमडा प्लस 11, सो एम में से पी को माइनस करेंगे, दैट वुड बी 10 लेमडा प्लस का 9, फिर -4 लेमडा -2 और प्लस का 1, सो -4 लेमडा प्लस का 1, दैट इज -1, -11 लेमडा -8 -5, so that would be -11 lambda -8 and -5, that is -13. और ये जो लाइन है मेरी, ये जो लाइन है, इस लाइन पे ये बी वेक्टर आ रहा होगा. ये जो बी वेक्टर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स हैं, बी वेक्टर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या हैं? डायरेक्शन रेशियोज ऑफ बी वेक्टर. ये जो लाइन है ये इस बी वेक्टर के पैरेलल चल रही है, तो डायरेक्शन रेशियोज इस बी वेक्टर के क्या हो जाएंगे? 10 -4 and -11. 10 -4 and -11. Now you need to look at this, that PM vector and B vector are perpendicular to each other. Let me tell you once again, P is the point जिसकी हमको reflection निकालनी है. B vector is the vector parallel to this line, and I have found the direction ratios for PM vector and the direction ratios for the B vector, that are 10 -4 and -11. Now I can say you that B vector and the PM vector are perpendicular to each other. Okay. Okay, just get me a new page over here. Okay, so I can say that PM vector is perpendicular to B vector. So PM vector dot B vector would be equal to 0. इन दोनों का जो डॉट प्रोडक्ट होगा वो क्या हो जाएगा? 0. अब PM वेक्टर के कोऑर्डिनेट्स थे 10 लेमडा प्लस 9, और that would be equal to 10 lambda plus 9. B vector का क्या है? 10. Then the second one, J वाला कोऑर्डिनेट अगर देखें तो -4 lambda -1 और वो -4, -4 lambda -1, -4 lambda -1, and this is -4 plus Z कैप के लिए, Z के लिए देखें तो -11 lambda -13, that is -11 lambda -13 into में -11, so that would be equal to 0. अब यहाँ से आपको लैम्डा की वैल्यू मिलेगी, so आप लिख सकते हैं 100 लैम्डा प्लस 90 प्लस 4 4 16 लैम्डा प्लस का 4 प्लस 11 लैम्डा 121 lambda plus 13 is 143 is equal to 0. Now 100 lambda, 16 lambda, 121 lambda, that is around 220, 220, 230, that is 237 lambda. and that would be equal to 90 and 143, that is 233 and 4 minus 237. So I can say lambda is equal to minus 1. Lambda is equal to minus 1. Now coming back to my PM vector, my PM, or I can just say the coordinates for M. I don't need PM over here, I can say coordinates for M. तो मेरा जो M point था, M point क्या था मेरा? My M point was, come back over here, your M was 10 lambda plus 11 minus 4 lambda minus 2, 10 lambda plus 11, then minus 4 lambda minus 2, and the last one was minus 11 lambda minus 8. So if I put the value of lambda, that is minus 1 over here, so my M would be equal to minus 10 plus 11, 1, then minus 4 plus 4, and 4 minus 2 get 2, and 11 minus 8, that is 3. This is my M point. This is my M point. Now, if I check it again one more time, let me show you something. I told you this was my point P. I will mark it over later. This was my required line. This was my required line. I told you that this is my point P, and my point P was equal to 2 minus 1, 5. 2 minus 1, 5. 2 minus 1, 5. I told you this is my midpoint M. I told you we need to remember this. This is 1, 2, and 3. And this is my point Q. My point Q is alpha, beta, gamma. So if M is the midpoint of PQ, can I say that if M is the midpoint, if M is midpoint, if M is midpoint of PQ, we can easily say that 2 plus alpha upon mid 2, 2 plus alpha upon mid 2 would be equal to 1. Okay. Similarly, I can say minus 1 plus beta upon mid 2 would be equal to 2 by the midpoint theorem, and 5 plus gamma upon mid 2 equals to 3. So from here I can say that 2 plus alpha is equal to 2 and alpha is equal to 0. Here I can say minus 1 plus beta is equal to 4 and beta is equal to 5. Here I can say 5 plus gamma is equal to 6 and gamma is equal to 1. So my Q, the image would be 0, 5, and 1. So this would be my image of point P. This would be my image of point P. Now, one more thing was asked in the question, if you remember. They also asked us to find the length of this perpendicular. Length of perpendicular was also asked. So length of perpendicular from the point to the line. From the point to the line. So basically what I need to find is, I need to find the length of PM. I need to find the length of PM. So if we take ahead, PM, just give me a second. We have already found the image. The next thing is PM. So PM would be equal to 2 minus 1 का square, x2 minus x1 का square, minus 1 minus 2 का square, plus 5 minus 3 का square. So that would be equal to 2 minus 1 का square is 1, plus minus 3 का square 9, plus 2 का square, that's 4. So the required answer is root 14. Everything is under the root. Let me validate that. Okay, So the length of PM would be root 14 unit. That is my required answer. Now for the same pattern, we have one more question. We need to find the length of the point 163 with this line where lambda is scalar. Find the distance of the image from the y-axis. In the same pattern, let us do it quickly over here. This is consider my point P. My point P is 163. Then this is my point M. Then this would be my point Q. Then the B vector I have over here is this is my B vector. द बी वेक्टर के डायरेक्शन रेशियोज हम बाद में निकालेंगे. पहले ये वाली जो लाइन है, ये जो लाइन है, जो लाइन ब्लू लाइन है, जो मेरी मेजर मिरर लाइन कहेंगे इसको. ये जो मेरी मिरर लाइन है, सबसे पहले इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स निकाल लेते हैं या इसको कार्टेशियन फॉर्म में लिख लेते हैं. मिरर लाइन मेरी क्या हो जाएगी? x माइनस 0 कुछ भी नहीं है, y माइनस 1 और z माइनस 2. अपॉन में इसके आ जाएगा 1, इसके अपॉन में आ जाएगा 2, इसके अपॉन में आ जाएगा 3. तो यहाँ से अगर मेरे को एक्स वाई जेड जो m के कोऑर्डिनेट्स निकालने हैं, इसको मैं लैम्डा के बराबर मान लेता हूँ जैसे हमने लास्ट क्वेश्चन में किया था. तो यहाँ से मेरी x की वैल्यू आ जाती है लैम्डा, y की वैल्यू आ जाएगी मेरी 2 लैम्डा प्लस का 1 और z की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 3 लैम्डा प्लस का 2. तो आपका जो m पॉइंट है मेरा, बेसिकली m पॉइंट जो है दैट वुड बी लैम्डा, then that would be 2 lambda plus 1, then would be 3 lambda plus 2. और अगर मेरे को pm वेक्टर निकालना है, pm या डायरेक्शन रेशियोज फॉर pm वेक्टर के जो डायरेक्शन रेशियोज हैं वो क्या हो जाएंगे? लैम्डा माइनस 1 कॉमा 2 लैम्डा प्लस 1 माइनस 6, तो 2 लैम्डा माइनस 5, then 3 lambda plus 2 minus 3, so that is 3 lambda minus 1. ओके, सो ये हो गए पीएम के लिए. फिर डायरेक्शन रेशियोज बी वेक्टर के लिए, जो बी वेक्टर है वो वाले जो ऊपर दिए हुए हैं वो क्या है? 1 2 3, 1 2 एंड 3. तो यहाँ से उसके बाद मेरे को ये पता है कि पीएम वेक्टर परपेंडिकुलर है बी वेक्टर के, तो इनका डॉट प्रोडक्ट क्या हो जाएगा? 0. पीएम वेक्टर परपेंडिकुलर है बी वेक्टर के. अगर आप इस बी वेक्टर को एक्सटेंड करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे ये दोनों क्या हैं? परपेंडिकुलर. अगर ये परपेंडिकुलर हैं तो इनका डॉट प्रोडक्ट 0. डॉट प्रोडक्ट 0 का मतलब लैम्डा माइनस 1 इंटू में 1 प्लस 2 लैम्डा माइनस 5 इंटू में 2 प्लस 3 लैम्डा माइनस 1 इंटू में 3 is equal to 0. So that is lambda minus 1 plus 4 lambda minus 10 plus 9 lambda minus 3 equals to 0. तो 9 और 4 13 और 1 that is 14 lambda and this is 10 और 3 13 is equal to 14. तो आपके पास lambda की वैल्यू यहाँ से क्या आ जाएगी? 1. Your lambda is equal to 1. जब लैम्डा 1 आ गया तो उसके बाद आपने क्या निकालना है? m was lambda 2 lambda plus 1. We need to have one more page over here. जो आपका m पॉइंट था it was lambda, then it was 2 lambda minus 1 और plus 1 I don't remember, 2 lambda plus 1 and 3 lambda plus 2, 2 lambda plus 1 and 3 lambda plus 2. यहाँ पे लैम्डा की वैल्यू 1 डालेंगे तो मेरे पास m के कोऑर्डिनेट्स आ जाएंगे. m के कोऑर्डिनेट्स हो गए आपके पास 1 3 और 3 2 is 6, 3 1 is 3 plus 2 5. This is my m. Now once again m is midpoint. M is midpoint of AB of PQ. M is midpoint of PQ. देखें P पॉइंट था 163, 163. So I can say 1 plus alpha upon में 2 is equal to 1. 6 plus beta upon में 2 is equal to 3. and 3 plus gamma अपॉन में 2 इज इक्वल टू 5। तो यहाँ से आप कह सकते हैं कि अल्फा की वैल्यू 2 1 2 माइनस 1, अल्फा की वैल्यू 1, बीटा की वैल्यू 3 2 6 माइनस 6 0, 5 2 10 माइनस 3, तो गामा की वैल्यू 7। तो आपकी जो पॉइंट इमेज जो क्यू है वो क्या हो जाएगी 1 0 एंड 7, 1 0 एंड 7। दिस इज द image of the point. Now one more thing was asked in the question, that was find the distance of image from y-axis. Okay, so distance of image, distance of 107 from y-axis, that would be equal to 1 का square plus 7 का square, so that is root 50 units, root 50 units. So this last thing also comprises 1 marks. अक्सर हम लोग इमेज निकाल के आंसर खत्म कर देते हैं, but one more question has been asked in the question, so that must also be answered. Moving ahead, can I find the value of lambda? So these lines are at right angles. If these lines are at right angles, so what you need to do is you need to find the b1 vector. B1 vector is 3 I cap plus lambda j cap plus 2 k cap. Then b2 vector is equal to 3 lambda I cap plus j cap plus 5 k cap. If the lines are perpendicular, then if lines are perpendicular or at right angles, then b1 dot b2 is equal to 0. इन दोनों का डॉट प्रोडक्ट क्या हो जाएगा 0. फॉर परपेंडिकुलर लाइंस वी ऑलवेज नो डॉट प्रोडक्ट इज 0, सो आई कैन से 3 into 3 lambda plus lambda into में 1 plus 2 into में 5 is equal to 0. So that is 9 lambda plus lambda plus 10 is equal to 0. So 10 lambda is equal to minus 10. So lambda is equal to minus 1. So I have the value of lambda. Then one more thing has been asked, find if the lines are intersecting or not. So if I put the value of lambda, I can say that these lines are not perpendicular at least. Then I need to find the shortest distance. How can we find the shortest distance? Let me tell you the A1 vector. Before we find the A1 vector, we need to, okay, before we do this all, we need to look up for something. What? These lines were not in the exact format. These lines were not in the exact format. So this, whatever we have done, this is not right by now. Just wait for a while. We didn't put the lines in the correct format. We need to put the lines in the correct format first of all. Just give me a second. Let me remove it. Okay, so first of all, we need to put the lines in the correct format. Okay, lines must be in the correct format. So for line 1, I have to write some details like x minus 1. So minus 1, which has been taken common, that would be going back over here. Then I can say if I take 7 as common, then it would be y minus 2 upon me lambda. Then I have to take z minus 3 upon me 2. Okay, here also what did I do is I took minus 1 as common, minus 1 as common. So my line would be x minus 1 upon me minus 3 is equal to y minus 2 upon me lambda by 7. Then it goes to z minus 3 upon me 2. Now for second line, I need to take common once again. First of all, I will take minus 7 as common. So I can write as x minus 1 upon में 3 lambda, then y minus 5 upon में 1. Then again taking minus as common, I can write z minus 6 upon में 5. So what I have is x minus 1 upon minus 3 lambda by 7, then y minus 5 upon में 1, then z minus 6 upon में minus. अब इससे हुआ क्या, इससे आपके वेक्टर्स चेंज हो गए. नाउ योर b1 वेक्टर जो हमने पहले 3 लैम्डा और 2 लिया था, दैट इज नाउ माइनस 3 आई कैप प्लस लैम्डा बाय 7 j cap plus 2 k cap, and the b2 vector is minus 3 lambda by 7 I cap plus j cap minus 5 k cap. So the value will also change according to question. Since these lines are perpendicular, I can say that b1 vector dot b2 vector is equal to 0. Now b1 vector dot b2 vector is equal to 0. That means minus 3 into minus 3 lambda by 7 plus lambda by 7 into may 1 plus 2 into minus 5 is equal to 0. Now here I have as 9 lambda by 7 plus lambda by 7, और ये माइनस 10 उधर जाके क्या हो जाएगा, प्लस का 10. So I have 10 lambda by 7 is equal to 10. So 10 से 10 cancel, and I have lambda, I have the value for lambda as 7. So my lambda is equal to 7. Okay, you must have noticed over here, you can see यहाँ से ये 10 से कट जाएगा, lambda by 7 is equal to 1 or lambda is equal to 7. That's my answer. Now as per the question, there is one more thing that you need to consider. Just if we copy the same thing, if we copy the same question, we can have a1 vector, a2 vector, b1 vector, and b2 vector. Once I have all these vectors, I need to find the shortest distance between them. Now, once I need to find the shortest distance, I need to check out if the shortest distance is 0, then the lines are intersecting. And if the shortest distance is not 0, then the lines are not intersecting. For the shortest distance, I need to look up for a1 vector, a2 vector, b1 vector, and b2 vector. a1 vector, a2 vector, then b1 vector, and b2 vector. Let me write these vectors first of all. So I can say a1 vector is equal to I cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. The a2 vector is I cap plus 5j cap plus 6k cap. Now the b1 was minus 3 I cap plus lambda by 7 j cap plus 2k cap. If I put the value for lambda over here, so I can say that would be minus 3 I cap plus j cap, because 7 would be cancelled, plus 2k cap. Similarly for b2 vector, I can say minus 3 lambda by 7 I cap plus j cap plus 5k cap. And if I put the value of lambda, I can say that would be minus 3 I cap plus j cap plus 5k cap. So we have the values for a1, a2, b1, b2. Then we can use the formula for shortest distance, that is a2 minus a1 dot b1 cross b2 upon b1 cross b2 ka magnitude, and we can find the shortest distance. If the shortest distance is 0, then the lines are intersecting, else the lines are not intersecting. Okay, so for the first equation, we are first question. There are two bikes, and these two equations have been provided to us. The first bike is running on this path. Okay, and the second bike, for the second bike, we have this path. These are the two bikes that have been running over here, and seems to be a simple question over here. The first part just says convert into the Cartesian equation. So R vector has been given as lambda I plus 2j minus k. So if we convert that equation, that would be x minus 0, y minus 0, z minus 0. Upon me, I have 1, then I have 2, and I have minus 1. Okay, so this is the first part. For the second part, I need to find the shortest distance. So let me write the a1 vector. A1 vector is 0, and b1 vector, as mentioned over here, is I cap plus 2j cap minus k cap. Then for a2 vector, the one in the red marked above, that is 3i cap plus 3j cap. 3i cap plus 3j cap. And the b2 vector, 2i cap plus j cap plus k cap. Then again, you know the formula very well. A2 minus A1 vector, that would go as A2 minus A1, that is 3i minus 3j and nothing else. 3i minus 3j. So 3i minus 3j. Okay. Then B1 cross B2. For B1 cross B2, I can just hold the values over here for B1 cross B2, and I need to do that. Just take it a minute. 1 2 minus 1, and these are 2 1 1. So the first would be 2 ones are 2 plus 1, that would be 3i cap. Then for b2 vector, 3i cap, then it would be 1 ones are 1, 2 ones are 2 plus 2 ones are 2 plus 1. Okay, that's 3i cap. Then for this is 1 ones are 1 plus 2 minus 3 j cap, and the for last one 1 minus 4, that is minus 3 k cap. Once you are done with this, you need to put in the formula for their magnitude. So 3 ka square, 3 ka square, 3 ka square, that is 9 9 9 27 27, or you can say 3 root 3, 3 root 3. Okay, so you can just find the shortest distance over here. The shortest distance will be 3 3s are 9, then j would be plus 9, and then it would be 0, then upon me 3 root 3. So the shortest distance I have over here is 9 and 9 18, that is 6 root 3 unit. 6 root 3 units. That's my final answer. Okay, so this was the for the bike question. Then the next question is, okay, two more questions are left over here. We are going to do that in the next class. It's over for now. We'll be working ahead for these two questions in the next class.